prominent political figures. They pose with the president. They pose with the deputy president. They pose with the they pose with the officers who are in charge of these things. They take photos, so they show you, this is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
In some instances, you guys
get to them if you need.
In some instances, you remember one of our leaders today, who is sitting on one of the arms of government, was involved in some scam in Dubai.
Yes,
you remember.
Yeah.
So if it is at that level, it is bad. It's very deep. So they pose with these people. You look at this person. You say this person is actually legitimate, because there's no way I can meet Okari and fail to know who Okari is. In case of anything, I've been told, if anything goes wrong, be sure you are covered, because
Okari is here.
So, end to end, I call it 360 plus 1, you are covered. So you're told, you deposit the money, because, this thing is not, there's no proper way of doing it. You deposit your money, because it is black market, we have to then pay them so that they release the product. You fly back to where you're coming from.
But let me ask, Brian, the level of scamming is so high, and I'm just wondering, when you talk about due diligence, in 2019, there was a very big report, and it was splashed in the dailies. It was a big story. You know what I'm referring to. This was the fake gold deal that involved the royal family in Dubai.
Yes.
So if the royal family in Dubai can be scammed, and they can come to Kenya to follow up on what has happened to their gold. There was a time when Kabila flew from
DRC and came here to follow his gold.
Follow his own gold. This is the president from there. This is the royal family in Dubai that can afford to do due diligence.
Yes.
If they can get scammed, and at the time there was a mention of over 400 million. In Kenya shillings.
No. It was far much more than 400 million.
It was over 400 million.
By far.
So if the deal then involved gold scamming and the transportation, I remember the conversation was it was transported through Kenya, possibly through JKIA, and then reports claim that that fake gold consignment reached the royal family, and they're like, we've been scammed, and they had to follow through the president. How did that even happen?
Because this is Kenya, and I said the biggest problem we have is the porosity and the lack of morals in terms of following up what needs to be done. There is this thing that is popular now being called wash. And I remember sometimes in 2022, there's this gentleman called Matiang'i who said what he has seen as the internal security minister is that we have a lot of wash people who are going up into the offices, high offices. And unfortunately, that's where we are. So basically, Okari, if you can see the Emirates of Dubai being conned, that level of gold, us young people, especially young men who are trying to eke a living, and we find an opportunity, what do? We go for it. Because it's already accepted by the head of the fish, which is rotten. So the body is just following.
It's just following in following the direction.
Very easy.
There are many cases, and unfortunately, even as we have this conversation, many more of these cases now start to come to mind. We did see that the former registrar of the judiciary also was involved in a case where there was an alleged gold scam that took place. Again, sticking on this precious metal, whereby it was said that her and her son were or were not involved in conning a certain businessman and their entity of hundreds of billions then when it came to gold. But if you look at it from a macro scale, that Kenya has then been flagged as a collective mule for this metal that passes through. And that's why I was so shocked at the number that you gave, that it's not possible at the moment for Tanzania, for example, to deliver 550 kilograms of gold. It's not possible. But interestingly enough, from stories that we've read, over 3,000 kilograms of gold are passing through Kenya.
Yes.
Passing through Kenya, their origin being DR Congo, being Sudan, and then finding their way to the Gulf. So who is moving this metal and who is earning from it? So if the metal is moving, then obviously it's on the chatter. It's kind of like the dark web. It's on the chatter, scores of a lot of people. But it also is giving rise to folks who are saying, well, the gold is moving anyway, but here's an opportunity for for us to scam people. So how are all of these things playing one to the other? There's gold that's passing through. We can't deny that. The numbers that we're seeing of 3,000 have come from European Union reports. 3,000 kilograms. Where is it coming from, and where is it going? So, if it's not on the books.
So as I said before, of course, there is gold coming through Kenya because Kenya is a corridor that has no proper regulations or enforcement of the regulations that exist in gold trade. So it's a very easy ground. It's a very safe haven, as I said, where gold passes through. And the big boys are involved, so many big boys. And I'm not afraid to say this, that so many of them who I even know personally are actually involved in gold business. And on the legitimate end, it's okay. I would say it's okay because at least they're giving gold, actual gold. But it's not okay for the younger ones to scam. The people have proven that they can do the business gold, it's fine, they can proceed with it. We can go in terms of enhancing our policy. But the beauty is, for any law to come to be, we always need some level of crisis. We always some level of crisis. So it's beautiful. Whatever is happening is painful but beautiful. And I want to choose to look at the beautiful side. That it is painful, it's happening, but then Parliament will be awoken and the policymakers will be awakened, and they will want now to make proper policies. Because right now, FATF...
But those who are involved in Parliament itself.
Of course. And you are happy, as I am happy, that in 2027, 80% of that Parliament is going home because they lack understanding of what's going on anyway. So... once we reach there, we'll be able to have this proper enforcement. Because right now, Kenya has been grey listed as a money laundering high-risk country.
By the same European Union reports.
By the same European Union reports. And this is FATF. I think this is the Financial Action Task Force that takes care of grading countries in terms of who is safe to engage with. Kenya today, as you have written here in your paper today, I'm so happy I talked about this just the other day.
Shylock economy.
Shylock economy. Why are we even talking about Kenya being a Shylock economy? It's because the grey listing has pushed the banks not to lend the common man. Because the common man is now a high risk, is not a safe person to lend to.
There's no security or collateral.
There's no security. And in fact, for you today to get a loan from the bank, you'll need a lot of security, which you don't have.
And the impact of being grey listed,
Yes.
There's a comment that came through, I think last week but one, where somebody was saying, as students who are studying abroad, what then it means when they're paying school fees, they are forced to have a lot of documentation as a result of this. So the impact is not something that is for the rich or the high and mighty and powerful.
Yeah.
It reaches even those who are not aware what's happening in Kenya. So that's the impact of this grey listing.
So now, from the gold scamming that has made us be grey listed, okay, the impact of the gold scamming plus the money, the narcotics money that comes into the country, and also the high seas piracy money that comes into the country, our economy is artificial at this moment. Artificial to mean our economy is not based on real products. Our economy is based on $1,000 millionaires. That's why they say GDP of Kenya has improved to 7% this year. You've seen that, right? But you and me are not feeling the money.
Well, the president said yesterday that now there's money in the economy.
There's none.
They're pumping in money to do a lot of development.
There's none. There's no money in the economy. And I can tell you, even the stabilization of the shilling is actually
artificial.
Because it was 169 in 2022 when he was taking over. Then he went on some level of encouragement on the people who have the dollars and told them, you know what, sweep, bring it. So there's a small window that was opened. And I don't want to go into details, you know why, And the money there's a window that was open and the money came in and it stabilized the shilling. And
I remember everyone was offloading their dollars.
Everybody was offloading.
In town, I remember in town that week. I remember in town that week.
Yes.
The forex bureaus, the kiosks you find in town,
they
were so overwhelmed because everybody was offloading their dollars.
Exactly.
Because of that window.
So that was it was very artificial.
Okay.
And still it's very artificial. It can stabilize the shilling for as long as it is in charge of stuff. But it could also go south very fast.
Brian, I have a question.
Yes.
So
because Kenya currency is based on is a fiat currency.
Okay.
I will explain.
Okay. Okay. Before that, I have a question. You say Tanzania, they have a central point when they extract this gold because they have a framework and a policy that works. So they take this gold and they declare to the government, this is how much we've extracted, and it's very, very clear the channels up to the point of sale.
Yeah.
In Kenya, you're saying we don't have that.
We don't.
So in these areas that you mentioned in Western and Nyanza, where there's gold, so these people are selling the local gold. They don't have a central point. So if somebody's extracting gold, let's say they have extracted 500 grams or even a kilo, where exactly are they taking this raw gold?
So they're the middlemen. Just like in farming, where you farm your product in Kisii, and now you want to sell your mboga. Of course, you don't have a lorry to transport your mboga to Nairobi. You don't have the distribution, for sale it's the distribution, yeah? You don't have the distribution, so you'll get somebody who has the lorry who will then bring it to Marikiti. Then the person in Marikiti will then sell it for you. And you, of course, will get your money. The same thing applies in gold. So you're an artisanal miner, you've gotten your 400 grams. It's very small, of course. It has to be into the market. It's 100 grams, I think 100 grams or 10 grams. I'm not very accurate with the figure. From the artisanal miner, it could go for 10,000 shillings.
Okay.
Yeah. The person went deep under.
So they paid 10,000 for assuming that the 10 grams.
So first of all, okay, let's go deep. So first of all, there's the guy who brings the dust from underground. That dust.
Yes.
What we call the ore.
Yeah.
So once he brings the dust, he's paid on the dust.
Before they even find out
clean.
whether there's gold or not.
Yes, he's paid on the dust. And he's paid per sack.
Okay. We got to create pictures, right? So we can understand.
Yeah.
So all that stuff that they eventually go start washing in the water.
Yes.
All that heat.
The person who brings it
The person who brings all that heat of the dust that will have gold and other things in it is paid.
It's paid per sack.
It's paid per sack of
you know
stuff
the cement sack?
Yes.
The small cement sack. So you're paid per sack.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because I can't afford to pay you to go and explore. So we go, we call it matching up, yeah? So we say, okay, I was to pay you 600 for this, whatever. I will now pay you 300 for one sack. You go with the other sack.
Whether there's gold or not.
Yes. So you go with one sack, I remain with one sack.
Okay.
But on this one sack, I pay
playing
you
by
300.
chance now. Let's see.
Yeah. So actually, it's chancing.
Okay.
So once the sack, they pay by the sack, then they're the cleaners now. The guys who wash, yeah, they're also paid a little amount. Okay. Then from there, they're the smelters. Smelters, the ones who now subject to fire. Now the cleaning of gold.
Yes.
In the essence, purification. So as they purify, they're also paid. Now, once they purify, it will be something very small. That very small thing, the person who now takes it from the owner of the mine is now the middleman. And now they bring it to Nairobi or Kisumu or whatever. That is very small. It goes into jewelry. It doesn't have very high value.
So when it's all done, what are we talking about in terms of kilos, that whole process?
So it could be, let's say it could be 10 kilo, the whole of Western Kenya.
Okay.
And it goes into jewelry because 10 kilo is small. I mean, that is small. It's not really big. Or if the middleman is huge, then he'll sweep up all the 10 kg and fly with it to Dubai. Okay? That is possible. So these ones are doing actual work.
Okay.
These ones you have no problem with. Because they're actually doing an actual job. And it can be traced that there was an artisan who went down, there is smelters, and there is gold that was produced. That is fine. For them and for the government, the only question is that we're not able to get tax out of it. Because customs does not know even how to do this. Custom people are not properly trained on how to go about valuing gold.
So if I have gold now, let's say I have a kilo of gold, and I want to go to JKI, I want to travel to Dubai.
You'll most probably not take it to JKI.
Okay, so where are we going?
You'll most probably not take it to JKI. You'll most probably take it to Mombasa or get somebody who is chartering some private jet
to Dubai.
And
why?
Because you want to minimize the level of taxes on it.
But you said customs have no idea what to do with this.
That's what I'm saying. So those ones, let's say you go with the 1 kg of gold.
Yeah.
And
it's in my suitcase.
It's in your suitcase. Yes. One, you've declared it. One, they will overcharge. Or they will charge you on the tax. But because it is gold, it is also high risk. You could be told, ebu kakando pale kwanza kidogo. There's something you want to find out. And in that kakando kwanza kidogo, you and me know what happens in Kenya.
Suitcase inafunguliwa.
Suitcase inafunguliwa. then what happens?
You're asked who are you, whatever, but in order for me to bypass the scrutiny,
So you'll have to check out more money. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say.
So that they can keep quiet on
Yes.
what it is.
So you will try
carry.
to avoid this headache of going through these checkpoints and say, okay, you know what? Who is the person who needs to be talked to? Let's deal with that person. So we talk that person and the money and the gold.
Unamwona kando alafu napanda ndege go to Dubai. In Dubai, they don't have a lot of scrutiny.
They don't have a lot of scrutiny. And even if they have, it's a free market. For them, they want the money.
Okay.
So world stop scammers today live in Dubai. World stop scammers today. Talk about Hush Puppy, talk about who, all the ones that we've known. They are going to Dubai, and I will tell you maybe another day if we will have time on the real estate question as well. Why Dubai's real estate is doing well, and why Kilimani and Lavington and Kileleshwa.
No,
is
why
also
another day?
having-
Please tell us now. Why wait? Because my next question was going to be these gold scammers, because they make so much money, you have to wash this money.
How do you
How do
wash
they
it?
do it?
Very good. So now you have the money. So much money in cash.
Yes.
Because you are trying to evade tax. Because tax, when you're earning anything below 1 million shillings, you think tax is a good thing.
Wait until you get over 1 million.
Wait until you get over 1 million. Where 16% or 30% means 300,000, means 160,000. It could also mean 20 million. Okay? At that level, even in America, you've seen it. Very rich people try to avoid taxes. So what do? So this money comes in cash and they go into something called smurfing. Smurfing. So smurfing means I have so much money that is not legitimate and I want to enter it into the system. What do? Kenya, 83% of the economy today is informal. What will be biashara ndogo ndogo? It's very informal. So which means if it is informal, it means they operate on what? On cash. Now, Kenya had some good invention, mobile money.
Yes.
I'm not mentioning any name and I'm not subjecting anybody to any scrutiny.
Yes.
So this mobile money is a perfect chance for smurfers or for scammers or for wash to now start cleaning their money. How? So I break the chunk. Let's say I have 200 million Kenya shillings in terms of, so it came in terms of dollars, and I want to break it down. Okay.
Just give me an example of where you get it from. You scammed somebody, they gave me money, and I said I would give them gold, and then I disappear off the radar.
Yes, then disappear. So I have
their money.
So I have 200 million shillings
Right.
in cash.
Okay, go.
So this 200 million shillings in cash, for you to deposit 1 million today in the bank, you'll have to give an invoice.
Even to deposit, yes.
Yeah, even deposit. You'll have to give an invoice. Now, who wants to have the problem to go and declare this is
200 million?
200 million. Who wants that? Who wants to be taken to DCI? Nobody wants that. So what they do is they smurf it. How do you smurf? Smurfing is basically breaking the money into small chunks and entering it into the system. So they go into this mobile money and have several agents, whatever. Okay, they could even be 100 or 200. Okay, and they give them the money. They deposit into the mobile money. Now, once it's deposited in the mobile money,
That's a lot of SIM cards, though.
of course, you didn't see Mulot gang have over 2,000 SIM cards.
Yeah. Okay.
People are busy. Yeah, you're the one who's imagining it is huge.
It's me who's here thinking.
People are busy.
Okay,
So,
alright.
so they have a whole bureau.
Okay.
Just what I see here, like that. What is happening back there?
Yeah.
So they have a whole bureau like
No,
that.
just for purposes of
Yeah.
clarification, what's happening back there is our commercial department. Brian.
Yeah, so they have these guys who then enter this money into mobile money. Now, once the money is entered into mobile money, it is then entered into bank accounts.
Okay.
So they have several.
Their own, or they use?
Of course, they use other bank accounts. They can't use their own. They don't want traceability. So they have things called shell company. What's a shell company? A shell company is a company without an address, but it has a bank account. So it's a shell. So it's basically a company that receives money. So it is deposited in that company. So these companies are either registered as a logistics company, they're registered as clubs, hotels, salon.
Is it true along Gong Road? Because I've heard this. A lot of these mushrooming car yards with very expensive vehicles
Petrol
are also
station.
conduits of
Petrol
the same.
stations very huge.
Petrol stations are big in this.
Bureau de change, very huge. It's another opportunity for smurfing. So once they break this money, then they enter it, the money gets into the bank, it is clean. Hello?
Oh, so that's the process of laundering.
So that's one.
Is that when you break it down and
Yes.
then you bank the money.
Yes.
If you bank it in a company,
Yes.
the money then has been sanitized.
Exactly. So what you are
So nobody can ask you now, where is this money
exactly
from? Because they can see it's gone through a business.
many people don't understand why is wash doing well in Kenya. It's because 83% of the economy is operating on cash, and they have a perfect chance into the bank, which is break into small pieces through mobile telephony, let it get into the bank, then it is wired back. Do you understand?
So that's one way. Yes, I do.
That's one way.
So that's one way.
Yes.
What's the other way?
So the other way is through bureau de change.
So all these forex bureaus in the CBDs and in the estates.
Yes, and I don't want to point to anybody, but I want to ask you, Kari, if you visit this bureau de change and look at what's happening there, this person sitting on the other side of the glass, do a sample. Who are they? I'm not going to mention names. Sawa.
No, I've done a story on this. So
You've done a story on this, so you know
yeah,
it.
I know.
So these guys, where are they getting these monies? This is another chance for smurfing. So they have the dollars, and then they want to sell. In fact, if you want to better exchange, you're always told, don't go to the bank, go to Forex Bureau.
Because they're cheaper.
Why are they cheaper? It's not cheap because everybody wants to make a profit. When somebody's being cheap where people are making profits, something is happening.
They have so much of it that they
So
don't mind
much of
going
it.
at a loss.
They don't mind. What they want is to have this money get into the system because they have the dollars.
As clean money.
As clean money. At JKIA, how many times have these people been arrested at JKIA with hard cash? People who don't have any business. Hard cash, dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. At JKIA, how many times? Those are the ones that have been caught. The ones that haven't been caught. Do we have airstrips in this country? Do we have jets or aircraft
jets.
flying from other countries straight to airstrips instead of airports?
Yes, we do.
And what do these private aeroplanes carry? Do they carry stones?
They carry people.
They carry people. Why wouldn't somebody land at JKI or Wilson? Why are they choosing to go and land in some weird place?
Okay, what's the third way?
So the third way is now going into what is called
Real estate?
Real estate. This is the most beautiful one. This is the one that I like most. So whenever you see an economy where real estate is booming, know that there is extreme money laundering going on. Because Okari here has worked in the media since I was a child.
He's trying to
But he's looking young, of course. You look too good for your age, bro. So, Okari today, for him to buy an apartment that is worth 23 million or 27 million, it will be an uphill task.
Yes.
Because you're a genuine man earning your
Legit money.
Legit money. But you find, where I stay in Lavington, so there, the apartments are going for 27 million. Like the one I stay in, the person who wanted to sell it was selling at 27. I look at myself, even in 20 years, I don't see it. Okay? But there are people who are coming and buying it. Especially the block where I stay. They've been bought. Okay? And so many.
They're bought in cash?
In cash.
27 million
27
in cash.
million in cash. So whenever an apartment is coming up, what happens? You hear off-plan, buy off-plan. Buy off-plan Okari.
Yes.
And then when you're still struggling to get a mortgage, somebody has the actual money and comes and buys 6 apartments. Why is he buying 6 apartments? Or why is he buying 10? Or why is he buying 100?
To rent out?
No. You don't know. They're not buying to rent out.
They don't care if they rent it out.
They're buying it because they have the hard cash. What they're basically doing is getting something that they can actually liquidate later. So they have these apartments bought. They don't care
whether somebody lives in it or not.
That is the money held. That's an asset. The money is held. And that money, they can now further sell it. So now you see other small companies, real estate companies, very small companies, are now selling apartments. They're cleaning it, bro. They're cleaning it big time.
So what's the connection then with Dubai real estate?
It is now, Dubai has too much money, illicit money that has come in,
Yes.
that they don't know what to do with it. So what do they do with it? Because once you have disposable income, that is when you go into building such things. Because today, for you even to spend 5 million to buy a car, it must be really disposable money or a lottery. Yeah? So Dubai has the money, and they build the real estate, and they invite this guy, come and buy this real estate. And they're very expensive. The guys come in and buy even 10 houses, then they sell them later. These guys do not have a question of money. What they have is a question of legitimizing the money that they have.
How to...
Because the money is there. And through smurfing, whatever, they have now legitimized it at times. It's even in a system. So they want to now invest it Because wash does not end at just legitimizing the money. It goes further into investing this money, what is called reintegration. So the first process is obtaining this money. Number 2 is layering. And number 3 is reintegration of this money into the economy. Now they retire. So when they retire, you find Odhiambo, who never went to school, but is having so many apartments in Nairobi, he's just relaxed somewhere. He's done. He's cleaned his money.
You're just moving around with cars.
Just moving around
cars,
with cars.
changing cars.
Yeah. But the danger of that, Cayman Islands, Cyprus, Dubai, Swiss did this. They welcomed illicit money. It was so good for the temporary period, because there's somebody who asked me yesterday, Okari, when I was telling that I would be here. He asked me, why are you saying that wash money is bad? We can legalize wash money like Switzerland did it. I tell them, Switzerland did, but today, Switzerland has been forced to declare that secrecy thing that they were doing to be false. Now they have to be more open, or else they'll go into the blacklist. They'll be isolated from the global economy. You don't exist in isolation as a nation.
Is that why? Because I've been to Cyprus a few times.
Yes.
But what surprised me, it's a very small island.
Yes.
A lot of pensioners, but they have these huge casinos.
Anywhere.
The casinos are 24 hours. I was staying in a hotel where the casino, people are streaming in at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Can you with your hard-earned money go and play casino?
No, I only tried one game and I lost 200 euros.
Look at that. You'll never try again. So those guys are coming and playing huge monies at the casino, and when they do that, it's basically casino will go and declare, because betting and licensing, you know, that thing. They go and declare. Oh yeah. Even there's some of these betting farms that are here in this country. This is the nonsense they're doing. And what is it doing in finality? It is denying they put the money. Then we go into Shylock, things like this one, where now you and me cannot borrow. Because the banks are rather give the government money and not you and me. Okay, so wash is not good.
It's not good, and this is an intricate web of many, many things going on. I think this is just episode 1.
Yes,
it's just episode 1. We've just scratched the surface. Obviously, we're going to have to go into episode 2 with you, Odhiambo, because there's a lot more going on. We may not even see. These things are happening under our noses, and we're not even aware. We've just had the conversation, and folks are still not aware that the person next to you, or the entity in front of you, could be. And where are we actually going? So this is part 1. We will be back in a few days with part 2 of things that are actually going on. Started off with gold and seeing what it's doing. Odhiambo Otieno has quite the wealth of information in terms of what's going on. And perhaps you need a security tail at this rate. At this rate,
okay, get me one.
My goodness. This is what we're dealing with. Researcher and communication strategist Odhiambo Brian Otieno has been our guest this hour. We're just looking at ways in which money is going in and out, and perhaps protectionists. But then who's to protect if those who should protect are involved as well? We'll talk about it on our next time. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you.
At 8:01. Good morning.
The latest news from around. This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.